What I've learned in owning this bike is to never underestimate the Honda Grom. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'll be doing a day in the life of the 2015 Honda Grom OG. So I've had this bike longer than I've had any other bike, and I'll just kind of take you through an unscripted route of me heading home from work. You know, the typical stuff when it comes to riding a Grom, most of it being just city traffic, you know, going through downtown. Sometimes there's bumper to bumper traffic, but I think we might be in luck today. What I'll actually do is summarize it into the top reasons why you should buy the Grom, pros, as well as some cons, some things to maybe look out for prior to making your purchase. So I'll start off with this thing just has an incredible fun factor, as you can imagine. You don't always have to have a big bike with lots of power to have fun. I actually enjoy riding small bikes fast, or just hitting the speed limit. With this weight, it's like just over 200 pounds. It's just insanely flickable, making city riding incredibly enjoyable. Another big reason why I love this bike is the cheap cost of ownership. Obviously with the 125cc engine, you're paying very little in gas. Comes in at over 100 miles per gallon. I don't know the exact figure, but I just know it's really good. Fill-up costs anywhere between $3 and $4, sometimes even less than that. You know, with the small motor and Honda's track record of reliability, it's just, owning this thing is very cheap. And the insurance is just crazy cheap on this thing. I think I pay less than $15 a month. Parts are also very cheap. So I know Grom owners love modifying their bikes and customizing it, making it their own. There is certainly no shortage of aftermarket parts available for this bike. There's an example of how flickable it is. Brakes are not too bad either. I was surprised at how soft the suspension is, and comparing this to my 2017 Honda Grom SF, I am noticing that this one is a little bit softer. I'm not sure if they actually upgraded the suspension or if it's just a result of wear and tear on the older bike. However, they are sitting at around the same amount of kilometers. So I think on a bike like this, if you're a learner and you're able to comfortably put both feet down on, you know, on something like this or a Honda Rebel with the 27-inch seat height, it helps you build a lot of confidence pretty fast. And going back to that point about learners, is without that ABS, it does give you that opportunity to really lock up that rear brake in some emergency situations, and it's really controllable. Whereas, you know, the first time I locked up my rear wheel was on a pretty big 500cc, big I mean compared to this, and it was actually pretty scary. So doing this in a closed environment on this Honda Grom is it definitely helps, and I would recommend, if you're learning, that you try to do a lot of riding in the early stages on, like, you know, closed courses or parking lots where there's no other cars. This doesn't have a gear indicator. That's something that I know a lot of people may wish for on the OG Grom, but you know, with only 4 gears, it's not too bad. You do have that tachometer, which comes very handy. The handiest compared to any other motorcycle, because with the limited amount of gears, it's really helpful to see where you're at in the RPM range, and this thing just absolutely loves to be revved. So don't be scared to be sitting at around 6,000 RPMs, because this bike will do just fine. When it comes to 2-up on the Honda Grom, I thought that I wouldn't be able to do it at all, and I just completely discounted it, and I really shouldn't have done that. What I've learned in owning this bike is to never underestimate the Honda Grom. I've had, you know, cargo in the back of this, like a cooler and camping chair, so the Grom really does it all. And when it came to 2-up riding around the city like this, granted, my partner and I combined around, I would say, under 300 pounds. So that could be a factor, but I was surprised at how well the Grom did. In fact, it was actually a lot more comfortable for for me to take a passenger on the Grom because of its low seat height. That's one of the biggest reasons why I bought a Honda Rebel, because the last thing I want to do is be tippy-toeing when I have a passenger on the back. I did promise that I'll do a full 2-up video on the Honda Grom, so that will be coming soon. Ergonomics of this thing, I really can't complain. I know a lot of people, if you're taller than 6 feet, you might be cramped, but for me at 5'6", 140 pounds, I feel like this bike really was made for me. It just feels so perfect, so comfortable. The bars, I'm in a very natural seating position here. As you can see, I'm just flat footing. Even with one foot, you can feel pretty confident doing that at these stoplights. Another thing that's really great about the Honda Grom is that community. So I know in Europe and Asia, I believe it's called the MSX125. This community of Grom riders in Edmonton has been one of the best groups I've interacted with. Normally my riding is alone. Based on my interactions with that Grom group, everyone's just super willing to help. I mean, it does vary from city to city, but in my experience, even on YouTube, it seems that the Grom communities down in the States are just really awesome. I will be saying goodbye to this particular Honda Grom. And don't worry, I'm not actually leaving the Honda Grom community, because I actually bought a 2017 Honda Grom SF. I just kind of wanted to change things up in terms of the looks. We got a lot of riders out here tonight. It's just an absolutely perfect day here in Edmonton. That's an emergency braking situation. You know, doing these slow speed maneuvers in traffic and dragging that rear brake, it's just such a breeze on this bike. Yeah, when it comes to city riding, honestly, I don't know if I could think of a better bike for me personally. However, I know a popular topic is that, can the Grom do highway? No, it's not designed to do highway. You know, if you're a college student or your commutes are primarily within city limits and urban environments, then that's kind of what the Grom is meant to do. So the last thing I'll do before I wrap up this day in the life video, I will be doing a quick little highway test for you on this Honda Grom. The seat on this Grom, a little over an hour of riding and I've really melted into it, and I'm a little bit sore. From what I've heard, the SF seat is less comfortable than this flat seat that I have on the OG, so we'll see about that. But this is the first time that I'm feeling any sort of fatigue in terms of seat comfort on this bike. So again, when you're just commuting in the city, it's not really a huge deal. However, if you do have to go on any roads more than 80 kilometers an hour, I wouldn't really recommend getting this bike, and you might find that you regret that decision. Still looking for something small, and seat height isn't really an issue for you, but at the same time, do highways a little bit better. Take a look at this Honda CB300R. I think that looks like it's a fantastic bike. I do have one now, and I've ridden it a couple times. It's incredibly light, and it just feels like a big version of the Grom. Okay, the moment that we've been waiting for, this Honda Grom mini highway test. So let's see. I think that's the last gear. Yeah, okay. Let's see if we can get this hill to our advantage. $90, and the speedometer probably isn't really that accurate by about 10% or so. Yeah, it looks like this thing's topping out at 90. Okay, 100 speed limit, let's go. To the question, does the Honda Grom do well on the highway? No, it doesn't. It could do it if you really push it. I know people who have on YouTube, they taken the Grom like from coast to coast in the US. If you're comfortable with bringing out your bike, it's doable, but it's probably not the best for it. I could have sworn that last year when I rode this thing, I was able to get it up to triple digits going down a hill. So I'll dig back into the archives to see if I can find that footage. So that kind of wraps up my day in the life with the Grom. You know, a highway, it'll do the job, but only for short periods of time. If you have a motorcycle already, you're just looking for a little commuter, the Grom is definitely going to be a pretty good option, just because of that community aspect. And in a lot of ways, this actually helped me with my riding ability, because I spent a lot of time in different little parking lots, and I was practicing my figure eights and getting really low in my turns and slow speed maneuvers. So this was really good for that, and I think the Grom has actually made me a better rider in the long term, because I could take that knowledge and take those abilities and apply it to my bigger bikes. Let me know in the comments below if you have any questions, or if you're considering a Honda Grom. I'll try my best to answer those questions, but until next time, let's wrap it up here, and I'll catch you in the next video, perhaps on a different bike. Thanks for watching, and peace. Oh wow, I almost slipped there. Oh, they swept this parking lot. Okay, well, we might as well do some low speed maneuvers. See if I could do some figure eights within 2 of these squares. Yeah, I'll try my best here. Okay, maybe within 3. Okay, 4. It's been a while for me. Yeah, this little single cylinder is just putting along very quietly and nicely. Alright.